Now that you've written, planned, and shot your movie, the real work can begin. You think I'm kidding, right? Some of the most important and time-consuming work you'll do on your movie comes in what is called the post-production phase. This is the time when you capture your footage into the computer, edit and manipulate it, add effects and music, and then export a finished movie. It can be a lot of work, but your finished product can be really improved by putting in the effort now. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of the specific editing programs, let's learn a few basic editing hints and tips. First off, the whole point of editing is to set the rhythm and mood of your film and direct the audience's attention. Holding on a given shot longer will slow down your movie, kind of like how this video might be seeming a little long the more you have to stare at this one shot of me. And using a bunch of very fast cuts, like this, will speed up your movie. You can also use longer shots for dramatic pause, or to build up to a quick cut, which will seem all the faster because of the juxtaposition. Which shots you choose can also change the entire focus of a scene. Sometimes you can end up with a very different focus than what you had originally intended. Now there are two schools of thought on editing. The first, and more classical school, says that editing should be transparent or invisible. This means that your cuts should seem continuous in time and space, and your transitions should flow pretty naturally. In this mode, the very best editing is the kind you don't even notice. The newer school has a flashier editing style, with smash cuts between different times and places that put the editing right up front and center, just begging to be noticed. Both of these methods are valid. You just have to decide which one is right for you. The sequence of shots that moves from long shots to medium to close-up and back typically consists of match cuts. This means that the action is continuous. If my hand is on my head at the end of the long shot, it will still be on my head when you cut to the medium. So in invisible cutting, you would want to avoid jump cuts. These are cuts that do not match in this way. A jump cut can consist of two different shots of the same subject that don't match up, like if my hand suddenly leaves my head. Or it can be when you cut from one shot to a different part of the same shot so that the scene stays the same, but maybe the people have moved around. These can be disconcerting, but can also be used to great effect. Another thing that can look like a jump cut is if you reverse screen direction, or if you cross the 180-degree line. If someone is looking to the right of the screen in one shot, and they should still be looking to the right when you cut. Otherwise, it will seem as though they've reversed positions, even if they are technically in the same place. One last neat thing about editing. There is something called the Kuleshov effect, which is based on a study in which people were shown blank-looking faces cut together with various different objects. The subjects perceived the emotions of the blank-faced person based on the object they had just seen. So the face next to a plate of food made people think the man was hungry, and that same face next to a coffin made people think he was grieving. You can use the principle of the Kuleshov effect in your editing. Always remember that the shots you place next to each other can generate a great deal of meaning, and use that to your advantage. Now that you have some editing basics, start diving into your editing program and go wild.